We've been doing movie nights for
years.
So Gen Xer and
A Gen Z. Random weird moments that the two of us have experienced, and there are a lot of those.
And he crashes them.
As you do.
It's like, I'm just sitting there and I'm like, where did this come from? Why are we singing?
I mean, you're not going to learn anything about the movies listening to us talk. This is the Argo City Podcast. Film, conventions, and fan life with Maddie and Matthew.
Okay, and we're back with me and Maddie.
Hello, hello, hello.
And this week it was the movie box of Boom. This is the movie wheel of Boom, actually, because I'm spinning the wheel for this one.
Yeah, because
and what
I
we landed
don't.
up on was Addams Family 2.
Because it was a movie that I put into my box because it's been one I've been meaning to watch since I watched the first one on my own, but I hadn't really gotten around to watching the second one.
Well, and we really like the first one.
It was very good.
See, here's the thing. There's a line in Quentin Tarantino's Pulp Fiction, and the ingenue says, okay, so there's certain people who are Beatles people and certain people who are Elvis people.
Oh, I know where you're going with this.
And you can like them both exactly as... You can like them both, but you can't like them both the same. So, with horror people, there's Munsters people, and there's Addams Family people.
Mm-hmm.
And this house has always been very much Addams Family house. Even my parents, though, even when I was growing up, it was very much more Addams Family than it was Munsters. My parents were not monster people, but they got something about the Addams Family. Something about that really resonated with them. So I'm a big fan of the old TV show. And the thing is, the cartoon, these two cartoon films, these CGI films,
Mm-hmm.
They're the best version of the Addams Family to me.
Oh my gosh, they're amazing.
Since the original series.
And I know you've shown me quite a couple episodes of the original series. I've also seen a couple of the movies as well. Which, I mean, I know I had a hard time kind of getting into it at first, but it just ends up, I don't think I've really seen much, if any, of the Munsters, because as you said before, I've kind of been raised on the Addams Family.
Yeah, I don't think I've
seen any of
the
it.
Munsters. Because the TV show was going on at the exact same time as the Addams Family. There was a competition.
Oh, really?
Between the two networks. This was a thing. And then the Munsters has been revived probably almost as much as the Addams Family. The Munsters, it's whoever has the rights to the Universal monsters, to the Dracula, Frankenstein werewolf, because the makeups are based on that. There was a recent version done by Rob Zombie. I was just at Monster Bash a year or so ago, talking with the guy who did Grandpa. I like it, but no, the Addams Family.
There's something special about them.
It's smarter, because they're not aping monsters. They're just
a regular family.
They're just this completely crazy, psychotic group of people.
Yeah, and it's like so normalized with them, like things that might like make a regular person freak out, or even just like things that would confuse us. It's just like it's everyday stuff for them.
Mm-hmm. And I keep bringing up we've been watching a lot of the John Aston Gomez Addams episodes of Night Court.
Oh my goodness, yes. He's always so much fun when he shows up in that.
He defined that character Gomez, and he makes every episode of that show better.
I agree.
and then we did go through Wednesday as well.
That was such a good series.
Let's put a pin in that, because I want to come back to that in a second.
Okay.
After we talk about this. So, the movie bases its designs more on the... these used to be like newspaper cartoons. So its base designs on the actual what they look like in when they do these New Yorker.
Yeah, I recall you telling me a while back that like the actors had to kind of figure out the characters on screen because, well, aside from like the dialogue and what the characters look like, they didn't really have a ton to go off of.
Right, there's no characters. There were no names. Charles
there
Addams didn't name any of those characters.
There weren't any names?
There weren't any names. Names like Gomez or Morticia or Fester, that all came from the TV series.
Oh.
So these movies are trying to go a little bit more. They're drawing from a bunch of different stuff. The look is from the comic strips, and there were a couple of cartoon versions of them as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like I showed you a Scooby-Doo one.
You did show me that. It's been a while since I've seen that.
That was a little wild.
That was really weird.
But then again, they brought the TV people in to do the voices.
That's true, and that does help.
It's such a weird property that if it's
not done right, then it's not done good.
It's pulled a little bit more inspiration from every version.
Mm-hmm.
So the cartoons are the source, the comic strips are the source. The TV show gives it its body, its characters, and then the movies give it a little bit more macabre, a little bit more focus on Cousin It and on Wednesday.
I do love Cousin It.
We have a Cousin It.
Yes, we do have a Cousin It.
We built one out of hula skirts and an old robot.
Heck, I literally did a Gomez for Halloween this year and had him sitting next to me while I was handing out candy. And I was supposed to have a Morticia, but sadly my friend canceled on me.
But so we get a little more each time this group kind of pulls out. One of the things I loved about the Addams Family movies, these cartoon movies, these CGI movies, Pugsley gets actually a fair shake.
Yeah,
he gets something to do. Like the first one, it's all about his like age of ascension, his becoming an Addams.
Right. It's been a while since
the second
I've seen the first
one is how do we find Pugsley a girlfriend?
And that was just the most wild thing to watch. I mean, just having like Uncle Fester attempting to mentor him when he is not the person that should be mentoring him in the slightest. But I mean, at least two of his pickup lines were pretty decent. But I mean, it didn't help that Wednesday kept getting in the way.
Well, Wednesday does that.
True.
But I mean, everybody gets something to do in this.
Every character has like their own thing. Like, since we mainly follow the main family plus Fester, we see like I forget the grandma's name. She's
just Grandma.
Oh, well, okay. Well, Grandma stays back at the house and is throwing a full-on party, and we get to see kind of clips of her succeeding and both failing at the same time. And even when the family comes back at the end of the movie, she's just like, "I need help. They won't leave."
I don't know, and the way that they portray Grandma in this, I don't know. It reminds me of quite a bit of your grandma.
Honestly, I see it.
Mm-hmm.
My grandma's a very, very big hippie. She very much has those vibes, those kind of crazy vibes to her. So I can definitely see that.
She does the parties, she does the festivals and the concerts and stuff like that. She'll pull Mom with her
occasionally.
From time to time too.
I just can't stand the music or else I'd go too.
Mm.
Well, I can't stand the noise.
And that's also why you don't go to the concerts I go to.
Exactly.
I've got Immortal Fest coming up in a couple months here, and I am so excited.
I am more than happy blasting music in my room.
Yeah. And yet it's not nearly as loud as listening to Tourniquet or Bride. Yeah, and so she's just back there. We do get, this is before the Wednesday TV series, but we kind of get that focus getting more and more on Wednesday. The movies started that.
Yeah.
And it's following through the animation. Some of that's also, there's a certain feeling in Hollywood that you need like a female protagonist, or you need anything but somebody who looks like me.
Well, I mean, that's kind of why, as we were talking about earlier, it's nice that this movie focuses on all of them. I mean, although
it really does.
It mainly focuses on Wednesday with her, like, whole adventure and stuff, but nobody really gets left out. And
Yeah.
I would argue even to say that her parents share just as much screen time as she does.
Yeah, he doesn't go overboard with it. It gives her a really good plot, but everybody is essential. And
Yeah.
you know, despite the fact that like Gomez looks like a troll,
I was gonna say potato, but that works too.
yeah. But you know what? He still has all the suave and the charm that
Oh,
John
absolutely.
Astin does. You believe it. He's not. He's not what we see in, say, like the Wednesday TV show.
Yeah, those are very different characters. But I think they only showed up for one episode, and at the beginning when they dropped
A
her
couple
off.
times, but not often. Yeah.
It's more so her mother than anybody else, I'd say.
Hmm. And we even almost see. One of my friends was trying to point this out. It's like I was complaining a little bit about. I'm not sure that Tim Burton gets the Addams Family. She's like, but you love the Addams Family movies. Didn't we have the same thing? I don't know. Wednesdays.
I would say Wednesday is almost kind of like its own thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't quite match up with a lot of the chronology and stuff. Like, I know we talked about, I think it was yesterday or the day before, about how, like, it doesn't match the whole idea of family. The whole point of the Addams Family is that they're just a family, as
Yes.
said in the title.
It is unconditional
But-
love. It is we don't care.
Yeah, and I mean, I know that this show is called Wednesday, but she doesn't do anything with her family. I would think like that they would be either more influential or would just do more stuff with her, but they have such a bad relationship in it. It doesn't sit right. It's not the Addams Family. It's
more
not
antagonistic.
exactly.
Like in this movie, in Addams Family 2, Wednesday's kind of trying to separate herself off, but it doesn't feel hostile.
No, it's just more like she's trying to learn her independence.
It's like, please don't show up at my science fair taking pictures of me, holding signs up of me, and telling everybody that I am the most brilliant thing there.
Not that they listen.
She's embarrassed by the fact that they overdo it. She doesn't necessarily want to separate from the family.
She just like
That gets exasperated. The mad scientist who wants her to separate from the family, like, uses that as a wedge.
exactly.
That's not the natural inclination. It's just, okay, just don't embarrass me.
And I mean, every kid has gone through that with not
Yes.
wanting their parents to embarrass them a lot.
But that's the feeling I get from this. It's
Yeah.
not so much, my mother wants me to be her, and I'm not going to be.
I mean, no, if
seriously,
anything,
Wednesday
they're
could not be more Morticia, by the way. But
exactly.
um,
I mean, literally, when they even just brought up the fact that she might not be their biological daughter, I took a second and I was like, no, she looks too close to her mother for that to even be possible.
And you know what? Even if they try, and they pull a fast one, they make you wonder. Well, the DNA test didn't come back right. Yeah, that's because I'm wearing a wig.
I remember we talked about that at the end of the movie.
But you know what? I still would have been okay with it. With maybe, okay, what if she's not their biological child? Does that matter?
No, it really doesn't. I mean, family is who you choose, not who you are necessarily born to.
Well, yeah, family is family. Like, I am adopted.
Mm-hmm.
We tend to forget that because my parents were my parents. I've never sought out my biological parents. I don't care. They weren't my parents. I didn't get anything from them except,
The gift
okay,
of life.
but, well, yes, I got the gift of life, but I got a better gift. My mother carried me to term and gave me to people who really wanted a child, who waited 5 years for that. And I have far more in common with the Skellies than I would with whomever else that might be. It's just, your family is your family.
And I mean, more than half of our family is adopted.
Yes, and that's just another thing that you get from mom's side too, because they're all about that as well.
Yeah.
That's one of those things that it's one of the reasons why Mom and I fit together, because we both have that attitude. We both understand that.
Yeah.
So even if Wednesday hadn't been a part of the Addams family,
She's still an Addams.
yeah,
I mean,
everything about her is an Addams. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about Wednesday, just to sidetrack a little bit, because that was the thing that bothered me. There's so much about the Wednesday series that I love. It's like 60-40.
hmm
But every time we talk about her actual family,
it slowly
I'm
tips the scale.
pulling out little hair that I have left.
hmm
He doesn't get it.
I mean, like, the series itself was brilliant. We watched it during our weekly TV nights, and, like, just the whole mystery going on with, like, the monster and with, like, the Enid character being introduced, and they were able to build such a great story and a great environment. It's just that one thing with the disconnection of the family and some little bits and pieces that just didn't really fit into her character. I mean, to be fair, she is very much aged up in this sense than she is compared to a lot of other media. But I mean, even then, there's still that slight thing that just niggles in the back of your brain.
Yeah, like I remember being that age. It's been a while, but I remember being that age, and I am not my parents. I am not my father. But I have no interest in being divorced from them either. And
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
I didn't have that real hostility there.
Yeah.
And man, and Enid is one of the great additions to this whole mythology.
I love her to pieces. She is so adorable.
Yes, like I went to Five Below and grabbed an Enid figure to go with like my Burger King.
I got stories I can talk about with that.
Yes, because you're working there.
I am going to interrupt.
You're like procuring half of my Burger King figures.
Okay, no, hold on. I'm going to interrupt you there and just. Okay, so I work at Burger King, and around Halloween they had a promotion regarding the Addams Family. A week or two before it started, I had heard the manager talking about it, and then she proceeded, as seeing my excitement, brought me to the corner and showed me the crowns for it, and I was so excited. Every couple days they started like bringing out the toys and stuff, and my dad mentioned that he like wanted one or two of the toys, and I was like, sure, I'll grab you the ones that we have. But for some reason they weren't releasing like a lot of the toys at my Burger King. We had like 2 of them, and then we had like another 2, and I remember when we were looking for 2 last figures, we were looking for a Morticia and another Fester, right?
Yes, because I had to make a grandma out of Fester.
It was like a day or 2 before the promotion ended, and I was looking through I glanced at the toys because I had to make a kids meal for one of the orders, and I was like, no freaking way, because it was 5 minutes before I was set to clock out. I literally grabbed my bag, rushed out as soon as my clock in time was done, and I was like, can I just get 2 of those toys, please? And the cashier like looked at me like I was crazy, but I was like, just trust me. They gave me the toys. I came home, like, excitedly, like, shaking the entire drive home with my mom. I ran into the house where my dad was sitting in the corner in his usual seat. I slammed them down on the table, and I was like, look what I found. And we were both excitedly laughing together. Because it was amazing. Because he managed to build up the entire crew. Since I managed to procure most of the toys for him, we got a couple extras. He managed to make the rest of them on his own. And I even ended up showing, like, the general manager when she was on duty with me. And she was like, this is amazing. And I was like, right, this is amazing. And it was one of my favorite promotions that they ever did.
And so they never got the name right.
Oh my goodness, yeah, the sign outside, it was always ADMS. And I corrected them multiple times in there, and they never fixed it. But
it's funny, because in one of the TV shows, they actually make a point out of, like, we were doing your family tree. We thought you might be related to President John Adams, and then we noticed that it's spelled differently.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the spelling is a thing.
Yeah, I pointed it out to like 3 different people, and they never did anything. So like even now, as we're starting to like get into more of this stuff, I have more of a connection to that particular genre since I had to deal with like learning everything for my job and stuff. So even recently, there's always going to be that more of a connection for me at least.
I can see that. I always thought it was smarter too, and even these animations, they're smart movies. They manage to be funny, and they still manage to be positive.
And gory.
They still manage to be uplifting. Yeah, and gory.
And gory and insane. But yes, uplifting and very exciting.
And it's just, there's so much I love about the Addams Family. And these just get everything right. If you watch like some of the movies that were coming out in the 90s, I remember my parents were actually disappointed.
Really?
Yes, because sometimes they get mean-spirited. Like, there's a scene where Raul Julia...
Which particular movie are we talking about?
Let's go with the first one. The first Addams Family movie.
I'm gonna need a bit more info than that.
They've discovered Fester as the long-lost brother.
Right, okay. Yeah, I know which one we're talking about.
First and foremost, Fester is Morticia's uncle.
Yeah.
Not Gomez's brother.
I mean,
that bugs me, but it's canon now.
It made for an interesting plot, but no, it's not right.
There's a moment where Gomez does his thing from the TV show.
Mm-hmm.
He takes his model trains and he crashes them.
As you do.
But in the movie, there's teeny tiny people in the trains, like actual passengers that look alive.
Yeah, that's even a bit too dark.
Well, and he's angry. He's angry when he's doing it.
Fester angry? Fester
No,
doesn't get angry.
Gomez
angry. Sorry. Gomez doesn't get angry often.
Angry when he's doing it. If you watch the TV show, Gomez never crashes his trains in anger. He crashes his trains because crashing the trains is amusing.
Exactly.
That bothered them. The fact that the house inside was barren, like bare wood floorboards, and
literally the entire
yeah.
The entire point is that their house is filled with outrageous amounts of unusual objects.
Yes, giant Kodiak bears and fish on the wall with a leg sticking out, and
random taxidermy
and a lion in the back.
Exactly.
There's certain things that the movies don't quite capture right.
Mm-hmm.
Then again, there's also the Halloween special. I've shown you the Halloween special.
Yeah, we watched that fairly recently, didn't we?
I think so, because I bought a Gomez from the Wednesday toy line.
Right, because you wanted to make the brother.
Yes, I wanted to make the brother who's trying to steal the wife.
Mm-hmm.
No, of course I trust Brother Poncho. It's his blood I don't trust.
True.
And it's just, but again, it's just played for laughs, and it's so positive.
Exactly.
And I love that, and I love that the cartoons get that. Okay, we're going to pack out and go on a vacation in a gigantic RV.
That was what I pointed out when it was like, wait, how big is this thing? And like you're looking inside it, and I'm like, are we in a tiny house?
You say that having traveled cross country.
Exactly.
In an RV, which was not.
It wasn't tiny, but it wasn't nearly as big as that thing was.
It wasn't dimensionally transcendental like the TARDIS. Whereas this kind of was.
I mean, can you really trust it when you have a hand literally driving the RV? I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Thing, but...
And what did you notice about Thing?
He had a watch that was like his eyes,
yes.
Which was... Honestly, I don't know how much I liked that. Like, it was cute in the moment, but... I always think it's more fun when, like, you don't exactly know how they see. Because I think that would have made that particular scene, like, someone just looking over, like, why is there a hand driving this car?
That's
Not that they were a good driver anyways.
That's one of the touches specifically for that cartoon.
Yeah.
Although I did see somebody recently post, you've only seen, like, one of the Evil Dead movies.
Yeah.
Ash with the chainsaw.
Yeah.
So you haven't actually seen the second one, but you've read some of the comics too.
Yeah, it's been a while though.
Like his hand gets possessed and he has to chop it off with a chainsaw.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Somebody theorized that that's what Thing is.
That would be hilarious. That would be amazing.
Well, you got any final thoughts about actually like Addams Family 2? I think that the toys, by the way, that your Burger King was doing,
they were really cool.
I think those were meant to be originally designed for this movie.
Yeah.
And somebody changed their mind at the last minute and then released them a couple years down the road. Because, like, Wednesday's got a frog that's alive.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not even close to the release of the live action series.
Right, it's got nothing to do with anything.
Yeah, it kind of came out of left field, and even the new promotion we've got going on is going to be coming out of left field. I don't think I can talk about that, but even like
we did end up using one of those crowns though.
Oh yeah,
because we put it on Cousin Ed.
Oh yeah, that was really fun. I even remember I can't even remember exactly which one it was. Cousin Ed does not like wind. When we went to a zombie walk where my dad did a Gomez, I was a Oogie Boogie. We were like, I was trying to maneuver the maneuver thing around because it was really windy and we were in a neighborhood area because he was carrying all the cans and stuff for the donation thing. It was hard, and then even when I got stuck around a corner waiting for him to run to the car and back, it was difficult just trying to keep him straight before he would roll away. I had to go and keep running and picking up his hat because it kept falling, and he did not like the rain, but he was always, even when I did Gomez for Halloween, Cousin It was such a big hit.
To be fair, Cousin It is built out of like a walker, not like one of the cool walkers where you can sit on it and push. No, this is an old-fashioned,
like with the one handle.
Yeah, well, it's two handles, but it's only one handle now because I bent it together.
Oh.
And that's why the wheels don't quite go correct.
Oh.
But that's also why I bent it together, hammered it into a cone shape.
Mm-hmm.
And he was originally a robot, and then we've turned him into Cousin It as well. It's just a nice framework. But
yeah.
This is what we do. We create costumes out of trash.
Exactly.
But you're not wrong. He does not like the wind.
He does not like wind.
So the wind is the other thing you do is we covered him with a little bit of fur, like fur I had hanging around, and then to make the real fur is I went to the Dollar Tree and bought 4 hula skirts.
Yeah, I don't think I was around when you were necessarily assembling him, but I think I've really only seen the end process. How long did it take you to make?
It didn't take long. It's just a matter of, okay, so I got the hula skirts. All right, 1 and 2 and 3 will work. I need a little bit more. Okay, 4. And then he needs a hat. Well, Burger King's handing out these crowns.
And I brought home a crown the next day.
And then we 3D print the glasses.
Exactly.
Yeah, just bizarre stuff.
He's not in here anymore.
No, he's sleeping upstairs. And I think the next time he comes out, he'll probably be back to being a robot for Fantastic Four.
Oh. I was going to say, we probably bring him out for the Addams cosplay group we're going to be doing later on.
That could happen too. See what comes out first.
But yeah, just kind of summarizing up, the Addams Family 2 was definitely a really good movie. I've always really been a good fan of animated movies, and even with all of the connection that I've gotten recently with that particular genre, it's been a lot of fun. It's really cool to see how they managed to maneuver all the humor into everything, and it was really cool to kind of revisit those characters again.
Mm-hmm.
It's a shame that they didn't make a third one.
It is, because when I watch that movie, I recognize all the characters. I get it.
Exactly.
They understand what they're doing.
And it's something that introduces younger audiences to it. Obviously, the Addams Family is known enough where if you talk about it, most people will have a general idea. But even then, younger kids were recognizing who that was during
Mm-hmm.
Halloween and stuff. And even going on with the promotion and stuff that was going on when I was at my work. It's really cool to see them introducing this once again to a younger generation.
Right, and there's only one dude left from the show, and he's in his 90s. Gomez is still around, but he's it. That's it. The kids are gone. The wife is gone. Everybody.
Poor Gomez.
He's had a good run, and his son helped Frodo get the ring to Mordor.
Yeah, of course you'd bring in a Lord of the Rings reference. Of course you would.
All right, well, that is Addams Family 2, and we will be back with Movie Box of Doom, one of my box picks, next time.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank
cool.
you.
Thanks.